So now that we've had a look at why we might want to use personas, let's have a look at how we might want to create them. Step 1. Define your goals. Clearly outline the goals that you want to achieve with your personas. Are you developing a new product, refining marketing strategies, or improving user experience? Knowing your objectives will guide the persona creation process. So in our case, of course, we'll need them because we're creating a new product. Step 2, gather the relevant data. You want to collect relevant data about your audience. So this can include demographic information such as age, gender, location, income, job title and industry, interests and hobbies, challenges and pain points, in other words, needs and wants and desires, goals and aspirations, behaviors and preferences. Behaviors such as what do they do, what motivates them, what triggers them, that kind of thing. Step 3 is also part of the information gathering stage. You'll want to conduct interviews and surveys and check your analytics. Engage with your existing customers or target audience through interviews or surveys. And when you do this, ask open-ended questions to gather qualitative data. Probe into their experiences, needs, and expectations related to your product or service. You'll also want to refer to any demographic and behavior analytics you've already managed to get on your users. For example, look at Google Analytics, which provides loads of information on website users, or mobile app stores also provide these kinds of analytics. In fact, most big platforms provide this information for their creators. YouTube do on the viewers on videos, and Udemy does as well for instructors to have a look at the demographics of their students. Step 4 is to analyze the data that you've gathered. Now, what you want to do is identify patterns and trends in the data that you've collected. Look for commonalities and differences amongst your audiences. This analysis will help you to group similar characteristics and behaviors together to form distinct personas. Step 5 is to create persona profiles. So for each persona group that you've just created, you might want to create a persona for that group that includes a name and an image to help make this persona come alive and be really vivid and tangible, to actually be able to see this customer persona, and by giving them a name really humanizes them. You want to add in that demographics information such as the age, gender, location, maybe job title, their income level, and any other demographics that's appropriate to what you need for your product. The background, their education, their work experience, any other relevant details, maybe what they do for hobbies, things like that, what they do in their free time. Their goals, what is your persona trying to achieve with your product or service, and how can it help them? Challenges, so what obstacles and pain points do they face in their life, and how is your product going to solve some of those pain points? Behaviors, so how are they going to use your product? What features are most important to them? And you might want to add quotes. So use actual quotes from the interviews that you've done with people to add a personal, humanizing touch to your personas. Step 6, you might want to make archetypes. So you might want to create a few personas because there quite likely will be more than one type of person that's going to be using your product or service. With these different personas, you might want to group them into different archetypes. Common archetypes include things like the new user seeking guidance, the power user who's explored all the advanced features and uses them regularly, and the budget-conscious user focused on cost-effective solutions and saving money and getting the most out of your product or service for the least cost. I won't explore all the different archetypes here, but there is a downloadable resource that I've created with this lecture if you want to read more about different types of archetypes. Step 7 is to prioritize those personas. Not all the personas are going to be equal to you. Prioritize them based on your business goals and the goals for the product. Identify primary, secondary, and possibly tertiary personas to focus your efforts effectively on the correct user persona. Okay, that's a whole bunch of steps. Now you might want to do all of those steps, or you might just want to choose the ones that are relevant for you. But the next thing you absolutely have to do is share and implement them. Make sure they're visible and transparent and understandable to everybody in the Scrum team and all your stakeholders and anybody else that needs them, so that everybody can use them to inform decision making across departments, in sprint planning, at the sprint review, and things like that. You'll particularly want to consider them when you create your user stories. And of course, backlog refinement when it comes to prioritizing the product backlog items. And because we're Scrum and we inspect and adapt, we'll want to inspect and adapt, or test and refine is another way of saying it. You can iterate your product development basing your decisions on personas, but you also want to iterate your personas as well. So remember to keep looking at your analytics, maybe keep getting feedback from users and keep doing those interviews to further enhance, improve, and update your user personas to make sure that they stay accurate and valuable through the development process. Creating user personas is an ongoing process that involves collaboration and commitment to understanding your audience. As a product owner particularly, you'll want to regularly reassess your personas and refine your personas to keep them aligned with your user needs. How often you do this is a judgment call that you need to make, but I would suggest that you at least think about this every time you do your backlog refinement.